Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David and in this video I'm going to show you how to play the game Panda. And this is a tactical card game for 2 to 4 players where all players together will build an area and we're going to fill that area up with prey and predator cards, but the player who gets the most points for his animals at the end of the game of course is the winner. So please let me show you how it's played. At the start of the game each player will receive 2 of these cards to keep track of your score. Maybe you know them from Star Realms, for example. At the moment I have 0 points, now I have 1 point, 3 points, and if I go to the right now I have 13 points, 23 and so on. So you can keep track of your score during the game and you can use either side of this card. Here are all the cards mentioned and the symbols what they mean for which animal. Or you can use this side for some keyword explanation. Each player will get a set of 10 predator cards in his or her color. And you put them face up, open in front of you. And once you've played them into the area, you can see who the cards belongs to by the color in the left corner of that predator card. And we have a whole deck of prey cards. This can be bush, can be a fish. Some animals come in only one type of animal, one gender. For instance, this one or this one. But for some animals there's both a male and a female version. And these are all points that you get when placing cards next to each other. So for each of these birds you put together you will score 1 point. You will score 1 point for each bush that the card is next to. But if you put it next to the male character of this animal, recognizable by the dark black circle, you will score 2 points. And this male simply scores 2 points for each other female that is adjacent on top or on the side of this card, not diagonally. And it will also score 1 point for each green card that is adjacent to it. So as goes with the deer, this is the male version and this is the female. She will score 1 point for each female surrounding this deer, but 2 points if it's the male deer. And also here we have a male and female. This deck gets shuffled. Before starting the game we're gonna place the river cards in the middle of the table. We're gonna go clockwise around the corner and each player will add 1 card to the table until all river cards are played. It doesn't really matter how you put them on the table, but there are some starting scenarios in the rulebook. And then we're gonna deal out these prey cards. Depending on the number of players, when playing with 2 players, each player will get 6 of these cards. And these you will keep secret for your opponent. When playing with 3 players, all players will get 4 cards, and when playing with 4 players, all players only get 3 cards. Then we're gonna do drafting, because this will not be your starting cards. When playing with 4 or 3 players, you pick 1 card you want to keep. So maybe this one, and you'll hand the remaining cards to your player on your left. So from the player on your right, you will also get 5 cards, because also that player kept 1. And again, you're gonna choose 1, maybe the monkey, and hand the other cards to your neighbor. When playing with 2 players, you will pick 2 cards each time. So then you might want to take these 2. You will get the final 2 cards from your neighbor. And then we're ready to start the game. You pick a first player and that player will start his turn. We're gonna play 4 rounds and each turn you will play 1 card, either a prey card or you can play up to 2 predator cards per round. And once you've played all the prey cards and maybe some predator cards, you pass. And then when everybody has passed, we're gonna get new cards, do the draw phase again and gonna place those cards again. So when it's your turn, you're gonna play 1 card. Let's say we're gonna play this one. You have to play the cards in the same orientation as the cards of the river. So in this case, face up. I cannot place it like this, I have to place it either adjacent with the short side or adjacent with the long side. However, you can choose to put it like this, bordering 2 of those cards. The first card you play has to be adjacent to the river, and then for the remainder of the game you can also place cards adjacent to other animal cards. This card will score 1 point for each river card it is next to, so by placing it over here I will score 3 points. When you play a card from your hand, a prey card, you will immediately add the score on your cards. So in this case we're going to 3 points. And then it's the next player's turn. That player will maybe play this card also over here because it's worth 1 point for each water card adjacent to it. So also that player scores 3 points. Then it's my turn again. Maybe I'll play this one over here because it will score 1 point for each water card it is next to. So if I put it like this, I'm adjacent to 2 different water cards and I will score 2 points. Then the next player will play this card. This bird gets 1 point for each bush that it is adjacent to. So me, the previous player, has just placed a bush, so the other player thinks, well, I'm going to use my bird to score at least 1 point because of that bush. And so game continues. I'll place it over here. And then later on I might want to play this monkey because it will score me 1 point for each adjacent bush plus 1 point for each adjacent bush in that same area. So in this case 2 connected bushes to this monkey will score me 2 points. And then in the next turn I'll play this one because I get 2 points for an adjacent monkey and again the points for the bushes. So in this case 2 points because I get adjacent and 2 points for this non-stop forest area that is adjacent to that monkey, so this would be 4 points. So with each card you play, you're gonna look how do I get the most points for now, or how can I build up to score the most points with one of my future prey cards. And finally I might want to play this card. When you play this card you will score 1 point for each water card adjacent to it. You will not score 1 point if there's only 1 fish adjacent to it, but again you will score 1 point for each fish that is adjacent that is connected to other fish. So you want to try to make a very long row of fishes all together in order to score points. But of course when you're starting this group of fish, all other players can add fish as well to score also those points. And like I said, up to 2 times during a round you are allowed to play one of your predators. The points of the predators will be scored at the end of the game. So the prey cards you count immediately, the predators you're gonna score at the end of the game, so you get time to place other cards around the predator in the hope to score you the most points, because this one will score you at the end of the game 2 points for each of those green cards that are adjacent to this panda. And you can always recognize that it's your card by the little color symbol on the left. So maybe this panda I can place over here to score at least 2 points from this card, and I'm gonna try to fill up the area around this panda with as much of these cards as possible. But of course all other players now also see you're gonna try to do so, so maybe other players are gonna try to block you a little by placing their prey cards also surrounding this panda. So maybe they score more points and you score less points. This snake, for instance, scores 1 point at the end of the game for each of these 3 cards that are adjacent to it, even 2 points if it's the forest cards, but it cannot be adjacent to other snakes. This wolf will score a lot of animals, but only for 1 point, and it cannot be adjacent to other wolves. Or maybe this one. It only scores points for these 2 animals, but it does get 2 points for each of them adjacent to this card. But also it will get 1 negative point for each of these animals, fox, tiger and the wolf, that are adjacent to this card. So once this card is on the table, your opponents might want to try to place these animals around your card. So keep in mind when placing this card, try to score the most points for yourself and prevent your opponents from blocking you too much. The bear will score 1 point for each fish adjacent to this card, plus 1 for each fish adjacent to that fish card, and the same goes with the forest cards. And also this one cannot go adjacent to another bear. And there's one special card, and that is this one. It scores only points for these 3 animals if it's adjacent to them, but it has this move symbol. Whenever this card is in play, and another player puts another predator adjacent to this card, the owner of this card, recognizable by the symbol on the left, has to remove its card and put it somewhere else, anywhere it wants on the table, as long as it's not adjacent to another predator, because this animal does not want to be next to another predator. And basically that's it. When you've played 2 predator cards and all your prey cards are on the table, and when all players have done so, we're gonna finish the round. The starting player will be the player to the left of the current starting player. We will get new prey cards, everyone, and we're gonna draft again, choosing the cards you want and choosing the cards you don't want. Give them then to your opponent, and so on and so on. And we're gonna play 4 rounds, and after the 4th round we're gonna calculate the score. You scored the points immediately for all the prey cards that you've played, and then we're gonna go to all the players' predator cards. It's easiest if you do so player by player, to see how much point they score at the end for their predator cards, and those points together will be their final score. And of course the player with the most points is the winner, and there's no tiebreaker, so should there be a tie, those players share the victory. And that's it. That is how you play a game of Panda, a nice tactical card game. You need quite some space on the table because there will be placed a lot of cards, where you're gonna try to place cards that will score you the most points. But keep in mind that also other players can place cards around your cards. And sometimes you want to play some cards that don't give you a lot of points immediately, but you're trying to build up, so you can put another card adjacent to those cards. That will score you a lot of points. And most important, what predator cards will you play, when will you play it, and where will you play it, in order to score you the most points and preventing your opponent from messing too much with your predator cards. And maybe with one card you can both help yourself and prevent another player from scoring too much points. If you have any questions about this game, please feel free to ask them in the comments below. My name is David, thank you for watching and hope to see you next time.